Hello, beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some tips to help you guys manifest faster. I have just a few, and then maybe we'll do some pulls out of Neville's book and just, yeah, hang out for a bit. But if you're new here, I am Olivia Grace. This is the Master Manifestors channel. Here I talk about law of assumption, manifestation, all that good stuff. So if you're into that, then you should totally be a part of the community. Yeah, hi Magic Muse, hi Mocha Drop. Hey Anais. Welcome in everyone. Hi Lisa. Okay, so the first thing is to go to your end. Truly the realist. I love that name. But all right, first things first, go to your end. Okay. Hi, Sees the Day. Hi, Derek. This in itself will like solve so many of your problems and really kind of covers everything else we're going to talk about today. But go to your end and accept it though. And hey, Reality Manifested. Congratulations on your new job. That's awesome. Hi, Ashley. But yeah, go to your end and accept it as done. This is the basis of the law of assumption. This is what allows you to manifest something completely different, regardless of what's going on in the 3D. Go to whatever your end is, you guys, because what we tend to do is we have our manifestation and we look at it and we have all the reasons why this can't happen because of what happened before, what hasn't happened before, or, all of the reasons and there's no way and I don't see a way and all of these things, right? And that is the reason why you are tasked to go to your end, because all of that is the hard stuff that's just going to keep you in the middle. It's going to keep you in confusion. It's going to keep you in doubt and fear. You are just to go to the end in imagination, right? Regardless of what you're seeing, not because of what you're seeing. And this is like, I pretty much say this probably every video at this point, and we hear it, right? Someone asked me a few videos ago, she's like, don't you get tired of saying the same things over and over again? And I don't, because it takes you hearing it over and over and over and over again. And one of those times it actually lands and clicks like, oh, that's right. If I'm looking at my situation and saying, well, this can't happen because of this, or I don't understand, or this, then I'm concerned about the way in the middle. That's none of my concern. Oh, I get it. It's when you catch yourself in the moment, you guys, catch yourself in the moment of manifesting. One of the reasons, you guys, is like I tell you guys, one of the reasons why, and let me say this first too, because I know you guys see me and you're like, you're so knowledgeable and you know all of this stuff and oh my God, you're a great manifester. But I'm not perfect all the time. A lot of the things that I'm telling you guys in a video took me, like I'm telling you this in a 15-20 minute video, it took me years of practicing, years of trying and failing, years of not understanding, years of reading and hearing the same thing and understanding it as a concept, but not understanding it deeply, right? Not actually taking it in, okay? But this is the reason why that I can explain things really well to you guys, is because as I'm going through the process, I'm watching myself go through the process and I'm watching all the little potholes that I fall into and all the ways in the maze that I go this way and come up against, a dead end, and then come out and go this way and come up against a dead end. And then I'm able, once I come out the maze, to tell you guys, hey, these are where the dead ends are, right? Now, how long it took me to get there and get to the dead end, we don't have to talk about, but I'm saying that to say, you guys, it's not about being perfect, you guys. It's about continuing to persist in what you want. It's about honestly being willing to fail, y'all. Like, and that's something that people on YouTube are not going to tell you that because that's not sexy. Okay. Be willing to fail. No, you don't need to be willing to fail. Just do this or just do that. But you got to be willing to fail to be able to get better. If you're not willing to fail, you're going to stay at the same level because that's where you're comfortable at. Okay. That just needed to come through. Hi, Jaleesa. Oh my gosh. Both of you bays are on here at the same time. That hasn't happened in forever. Okay. Hi, Ty. Hi, Siren. All right. Go to the end. Accept the end, though. This is what I mean, you guys. Like, instead of waiting for permission from your 3D, instead of waiting for permission from whatever, accept it as yours. This is one that I notice with any manifestation that I have struggled with, you guys. This is where Tringsville came from, okay? Fail your consciousness. All of these came from my own experience, y'all. And I'm not afraid to tell you that, okay? I'm just being real with you. It comes from, oh, there's something out there that I could get if I do all of these things right. And if, this and if that, and once this happens and once I see it in 3D and all of these things is just the backwards way. It's the right way if you're a muggle, right? But you're not, right? You're not a muggle. You're a magician. You're a sorcerer. You go to your end. You call forth the things that are not seen as though they were. So that's your first and foremost task, is to go to your end and not just go to it, not just go to it and be like, wow, it'll be so nice when, and oh my God, it would be so cool if that would have happened a long time ago. And oh my God, I can't believe I'm still not there. And oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Right? But go to it and accept it. Despite appearances, it's mine. Right? I opened up the Neville book, and I'm probably going to open up in a second, once I get done with this, is just open it up and see what messages we're going to read. But when I opened it up before I came on here, it opened up to dwell therein, where Neville is saying, why do you continue to build states if you don't intend to dwell therein? And what it means is, why do you continue to birth these desires? Why do you continue to say, oh, one day I'll be like this and I'm manifesting this, if you don't intend to claim it as yourself? Because there's nobody that can give it to you except you. There's no power like out here to give it to you except you. Okay? All right. Go to your end and accept it. Leave 3D alone. All right? Leave 3D alone. This is probably this is what the whole video was about to be about, but I felt like I couldn't, there's only so much I could say that I haven't really said about this one thing. But stop going to 3D. Stop going to 3D to see what's possible. Stop going to 3D to see fucking anything, right? The law of assumption is not the law of 3D. The law of assumption is not the law of going and doing action. The law of assumption is not the law of rearranging things, okay? Okay, I'm going to tell y'all what came to me in meditation today. So it's as if, like, let's pretend like you're, like, if somebody is allergic to avocados, right? And they live in Mexico. And so there's avocados everywhere. There's avocado trees. Every meal they get, they put some avocados on the side. And they're just like, I can't escape these avocados. And so if they're in Mexico, they're going to be like, okay, well, I need to petition. They need to make this inclusive for people who, are allergic to avocados. That's not fair. Like, that's not fair for you to have avocado. What if I'm allergic? Like, some people are allergic. Some of us don't want that. Or maybe, I don't want to be that extreme. I'm just going to make sure that I tell every single person everywhere I go, hey, leave those avocados off, right? Can you leave the avocados off? But you walking by them on the street and you still around them and it's still affecting you. And you could do lots of things within Mexico to either get rid of avocados or to keep avocados away from you, but you could also just not be there, right? You could also just leave. You could also be in another country, right? And in another country, if you move to freaking, I don't know, Alaska, there is no avocados in Alaska, right? You're not going to worry. They're not going to be serving you. I won't say there is no avocados in Alaska, but you're not going to walk by an avocado tree. You're not going to get a slice of avocado with every meal in Alaska because that's not what it is there. And this is the different states of consciousness. So what does this have to do with leaving the 3D alone? Is when you're in the 3D and you're looking around like, well, I don't see a way for me to get money out of the 3D. Well, I don't see a way to get this thing out of this SP. Well, I don't see a way to get this and this and this out of this state, out of this consciousness, out of this reality. That's one version of reality. And you guys got to understand, like, you're gonna understand through your own experience that like there's nothing for you to do in 3D. Everything that you're doing, all the movement that you're making is mental. Okay, it doesn't mean that you're going to sit on the couch and not move and that's how it's going to happen. What it means is all of your creating or selecting or changing, right? All of your changing and shifting is done in your mind. Okay, but this is the thing that we've been talking about lately, which is that the more that you try to change things in the 3D, the more that it just makes you feel more powerless, right? Without changing inside. The more that you feel powerless, the more that you are exhausted, right? Like going back to the example that I'm saying, if you're in Mexico and let's say you're petitioning, you're like, I want avocados out of Mexico. I'm allergic. I can't be around this. I can't do this. And every day they're giving me avocados on everything I eat. That's going to get tiring. That's a lot of resistance for you to go against. The whole country, you're trying to make your thing happen in this country where some completely else is happening, right? But just move in consciousness. And this is not a literal like thing, you guys. So don't take it literally, like, but move in consciousness, move out of Mexico, go to somewhere else where avocados aren't present, right? Where avocados aren't being grown everywhere. This is the states of consciousness. Move in the consciousness where failure consciousness and lacking consciousness and broke consciousness and lonely consciousness and unhealthy consciousness, move in consciousness where those things aren't prevalent there. Move in consciousness to the opposite. You want to be aware of what you're letting go, but you also want to be aware of what you're choosing next, right? But all of this is being done in your mind. So the more that you struggle against the 3D, you guys, the more that the 3D proves to you that you're powerless, the more that you just feel like burnt out and you're like, oh, it's not working and this, that, because that's not where your power is, okay? And it's interesting because the 3D actually gives you a false sense of power, right? Because we're so programmed that doing things in 3D will get us results. And so, of course, because that's the programming, we get results from there, but they're like minuscule. Like they're not the results that we want. They're not as grand and amazing as they could be, right? But you have to be able to recognize that the source of everything is one source. It's God. It's the I am. It's consciousness. It's not coming from 3D. Okay? So leave the 3D alone. Stop wondering and forcing and, oh my gosh, how come it went like this? It doesn't matter, bruh. It doesn't matter. Oh, well, but it looks like this. It's impossible. Okay, yeah, it's impossible because guess what? If you live in Florida, there's no point in you trying to go skiing in there. You're not going to go skiing in Florida because there's no snow. Does that mean that skiing is not available? No, it just means you need to go to a state where skiing is available. You see what I'm saying? You looking around at Florida like, oh my God, wow, they only have surfboards here. There's so much water stuff here. Damn, it's hot. How could it ever snow? Well, it's Florida. The more that you try and make it snow and you just manifesting, oh, please snow here in Florida so I can ski, just go to freaking Aspen. Okay? All right. Now, why don't we do that? Because you haven't accepted your supremacy over the 3D. And this is the basis of everything, y'all. Okay? This is the basis of everything. Y'all, listen, once again, anytime I realize that, damn, I've been struggling with something, or damn, like this thing, oh, it's so hard. It's this. I'm still accepting that the 3D has supremacy over this thing. You can accept, first of all, you can accept yourself as God in different areas. You can see the areas that you have accepted yourself as God. You can see the areas where you intend for it and it happens, or you intend for it and it happens, or at least even the areas that you, like, even if it takes you a little bit of time, you know that I can do this. And then there's those things that you lay down to, right? There's those things that you're like, this is just too scary, right? Or this, I just can't chance it. I just can't trust it. And those are the things that you allow 3D to tell you what to do about, okay? Now, this is the thing about it. When you understand that you are the producer of 3D, okay? You are the producer of 3D. So it doesn't matter what's going on in 3D. It matters what you're saying and what you continuously, persistently say, right? And here's what happens though, is you try, right? I'm not gonna say that you don't try, because I know you do, okay? You try, but then 3D doesn't move immediately. Or maybe your thoughts are too opposite, or maybe you're seeing, opposite results, or whatever the fuck is happening. And eventually you lay down. Eventually you back down. You panic. You say, well, time for me to go back to what I can control, right? Time to go back to my illusionary 3D control, what action I can take in 3D to get me the little bit that I want, right? Reality Goddess is saying you and your job, right? You know what? I can't be paid to exist. My business not really going to take off. I'm just going to go back and get my 9 to 5, right? Yeah, I did my persisting. It's been about, 6-7 days. It's time for me to go and do what I know is going to not get me what I want at 4:44, not get me what I want, but, it's something that I control and continue to stay comfortable in what I've been in, right? Well, yeah, I want somebody that loves and adores me and treats me amazing, but, I don't know. I've been persisting and this guy hasn't hit me up, so I'm gonna hit him up and see if he wants to come over. Yeah, I know he doesn't treat me any right or do. And I know what's gonna happen when he comes over, and, that's probably the last time I'm gonna hear from him for a while, but at least I can get that crumb. I know that if I manipulate 3D, I can get that crumb and I can feed off that crumb, right? That's your paycheck. That's that bullshit treatment. Right? Oh, let me get that crumb. I could just make this crumb last, right? Because you stop accepting supremacy. You say, well, 3D is the one that has the power. So let me just stop playing around and go and be serious and be for real, right? Okay. When you accept supremacy over 3D, you guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is what the group program is going to be about in August. Okay? When you accept supremacy, it does not matter what the story is, okay? It does not matter what the story is. It don't matter what the story has been. It matters what you're saying, okay? It matters what you're saying. And the only reason why you stop saying something that you want or stop saying what you would prefer it to be is because you stop giving your say-so supremacy. If you knew, right? My old example of if you saw your grandfather bury $1 million in your backyard, when would you stop digging for it? When would you stop? It wouldn't matter if it was hot as fuck. It wouldn't matter if you've been digging for weeks or months. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you was digging for years, to be honest. It wouldn't matter, because if you seen him put the $1 million in the backyard, you're gonna keep digging until you get it. Period. There's no giving up on that. The $1 million is there. You know that your savior is there. So you're not going to stop digging. But what if your mom says, well, it's an old, wives' tale that your great granddaddy may have possibly put $1 million in the backyard. You still probably going to dig. Shit, we all probably still going to be like, all right, let me see. But on about week 2, when the weather hits 105, you're going to be like, I think that was just an old wives' tale. I don't think that was real. There's no point in me digging. I could be doing something more productive with my time. I could be going and getting a job instead of digging for this stuff and hoping for this stuff, right? But if you knew it was there, you wouldn't stop digging. If you accepted supremacy over 3D, if you knew that an assumption, though false, if persistent and will harden into fact, you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop and say, damn, 3D, what do you think about this? That's not a concern. The less that you could do that, the less that you consult 3D about anything that you're deciding, the less that you stop and consult logic and what makes sense in the past and all this other bullshit, the quicker that you're going to be able to just assert yourself over 3D and then leave the 3D alone and go to your end and persist in that. All right, this next one is a doozy for y'all, okay? This one, look, this one will help you so much, okay? Because this is actually, I didn't realize that these are kind of in order, but you doing this is going to help you do everything else, which is to stop questioning the law. Stop questioning the law. Like, this is the thing, y'all. Okay? This is the thing. And let me say this first. If you are someone who is like new in the law and you're still like, I don't know if I really believe this, sound crazy. Okay, question it, right? And I'm not saying to blindly accept, but I kind of am. And here's why. Okay? Because you guys are you're questioning the law. So if you're questioning, is this even going to work? Does this even work? Can this even work? Then eventually, just like the person digging for the $1 million that they don't really believe is there or don't really know is there, eventually you're going to get tired. Eventually you're going to be like, well, what's the point of me persisting in this new thing? What's the point of me changing my thought? What's the point of me doing any of this? I don't even know if the law is real. I don't even know if my imagination creates. Does this really even work? And I'm talking to y'all that's been doing this for months or years, okay? And still like, yeah, but I don't really know that, this can actually work. Can this actually work? It's time for you to stop asking that shit. It's time for you to stop asking, can this actually work? Because you're never gonna really, first of all, I know that you that are asking that, especially if you're here, you've already seen it work time and time again. You've seen it work. And part of you still wants to say, well, I guess that was coincidence, or I don't know, or it doesn't work to the things that, that is important to me or that I really need. No, you know what it is there's certain things in your life that you can't accept the opposite. You can't accept failure. So you just abandon yourself to it. Those things where you're like, no, failure is not an option, right? I have to win. I have to succeed. I have to do this. So I'm just going to persist because I don't have anything else to grasp onto. But when you come into things like money, right? Where it's like, well, you got options to grasp onto. You got lots of options to grasp onto. You got lots of jobs that you could clock into. You got lots of things that you could do, right? Other than trust your imagination. So, I mean, yeah, I can trust in this job, but I can't trust in my imagination to support me in the same way. If anything, y'all, that the pandemic taught me, I remember when I was doing Uber Eats and this guy was like, how can you trust that? Like, I can't imagine quitting my job and doing Uber Eats and trusting that the money is going to come up. And I'm like, you trust your job not to fire you? Like, did we not see in the pandemic that what the things that we put our trust and hope in, they don't really got you either, bruh. Okay? They don't really got you either. All right? So stop questioning the law. Those of you who are seasoned vets, it's time for you to stop saying, but I don't know if it's really going to work. So I'm just going to half-ass it until I see, some evidence. And then I'm going to for real believe it then. But until I see the evidence, I just don't really know. And that's why you get don't really know type results. That's why you get 1 foot in, 1 foot out results. Stop questioning the law. If you understand and accept that the law is flawless, right? If the law is flawless, the law is not failing you, bruh. Stop questioning the law. Start questioning yourself. Stop saying, like, I be telling y'all, people that tell me my self-concept is perfect. I'm doing everything right. Everything's going I'm doing everything. And, and it's not working, something. Okay, then you're not doing it right. Like that. I'm sorry, bruh. And I'm just telling you that so that you can be diligent and you can figure out what's going on. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, if you're feeding your dog or something and your dog is looking skinny, he ain't gaining no weight, you ain't gonna say, wow, I don't know. No, there's something wrong, bruh. If you're not getting the result that you want, I don't even want to say something wrong, but there's something that can be improved. There's something that can be removed, right? There's something that you can do better. And the more that you're attentive to that and that you're seeking within, instead of saying, oh yeah, the law, the law of assumption doesn't work. I don't really believe this stuff. I mean, okay, then be a muggle, bruh. That's what I be telling y'all. Be a muggle, because that's gonna be easier for you, because then you can just look at the logic and come to logical shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna be a sorcerer, now is the time to choose, y'all. Are you in the world of Caesar, or are you in your God state? Now is the time to choose. Okay? You really can't be in both. When you're in both, you're in the world of Caesar. Okay? You're in the world of Caesar. You might as well be over there. Stop questioning the law. The law is flawless. Okay? The law is flawless. Where are you assuming incorrectly? Where are you identifying incorrectly? Where are you expecting incorrectly? Where are you not disciplining your mind? Where are you letting your negative thoughts run amok? Where are you saying that, oh, my 7th house placement is in Scorpio moon, so, this is just the way it is for me. Oh, yeah, well, I came from a lineage of these type of people, so, it's just going to be 7 years of bad luck for me. Who's telling you that, bruh? Who is telling you that? You telling you that. Who's controlling your reality? You're controlling your reality, okay? You're saying that. Abracadabra, it's going to take me 7 years. Like, abracadabra, my 7th moon is in whatever the fuck. So this can't happen for me right now. It's not time. Like, okay. So you saying that. Stop questioning the law. Start questioning yourself. Start looking within yourself. Do I really believe? Am I really assuming, right? Am I really assuming though? Am I accepting it as true with no proof and persisting in that assumption though? Because that's the only 2 things that you got to do, y'all. Am I assuming that is true? And if you're trying to make it be true, you're in Tryngsville. Making it be true. Even saying I'm trying to get my mind to believe this thing is different from accepting it as true, from assuming it. From saying that, ooh, what if it were true? And I'm going to just walk in that assumption that it is. Okay? And okay, well, but Olivia, I did assume it was true. I assumed it was true. But are you persisting in that, though? Are you persisting in the fact that it's already true? Or are you persisting in trying? Are you persisting in doubting? Are you persisting in fear? Are you persisting in the old story, in the old state? Are you persisting in being 3D's bitch and looking at 3D like, when are you going to give me what I want? Come on. I've been waiting long enough. And 3D just looking at you like, I mean, whatever. 3D, I told y'all 3D is a badass kid sometimes. Okay? 3D is a badass kid. And you telling the kid, go to bed. And it's like, no. And then you start crying, okay? Y'all like them parents off 911. Nanny 911. Like, go to bed. Like, no, I'm not going to bed. I'm playing video games. And you're like, oh, damn. Why? Oh, my God. I'm such a bad mom. Why can't they listen to me? Why don't you listen? And you just crying. And they just like, I mean, I'm playing my game. Like, what you talking about? Because you haven't asserted supremacy over them, right? You haven't asserted supremacy over 3D. It doesn't really care if you're crying. Okay? It doesn't really care. And cry, get it out, but all right, then it's time to get up. It's time to assert supremacy. It's time to let them know, hey, I'm running the show here, not you. It's not up to you what happens or what doesn't happen. I'm not looking to you for permission for shit. You're not going to go to your kid and say, honey, it's 2 a.m. Are you ready for bed? Do you need a few more hours? No, dog. You're going to say, go. I said so. It's time for bed. Are you feeling like it? Some of the new age parents probably do it like that gentle parenting. Are you ready for bed? You're not? Okay. I'm like, fuck you, mom, get out my space. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have came in. Okay? And this is the thing, y'all. Here's the thing about it, y'all, is that you could do that because then people say, but Olivia, it's too hard, right? It's too hard, but my 3D looks like this and it's like that and it's like this, right? So Okay, then. So if it's too hard and it's like this and it's like that, then let that be that then. Then just know that 3D is going to be bossing you around. Just know that if you go to your kid and you say, honey, are you ready for bed? It's 2:30 a.m. I think you might want to go to bed. And they say, fuck you, mom. Get out my personal space. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me go back to bed. You go to bed when you feel like it. Just know that kid is going to know that that's how things operate for them. Okay? Just know that. So 3D could be like a badass kid, all right? And it's not, no, I'm not saying to spank your children. I don't like spankings, guys. I was spanked. I didn't get spanked that much because I was a great child, but but no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying to assert supremacy in whatever way that you got to do that. Okay? I'm saying assert supremacy over your 3D. Stop letting 3D tell you what to do. Okay? And it's going to tell you what to do. Okay, y'all gotta know that the illusion is strong. The illusion is illusioning. Okay, all of this shit is doing what it's supposed to do and is keeping you in the illusion. All right, just like when you're dreaming, your dream, as soon as you start questioning some shit, you're like, damn, why are there purple elephants doing a parade down my street? I don't even remember purple elephants. And then your dream brain is going to be like, nah, remember, bro, they just dyed all the elephants purple yesterday. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. Like, the illusion is meant to keep you asleep. The earth is meant to keep you asleep. The dream is meant to keep you in the dream because it doesn't want you to wake up. It doesn't want you to know that all of this is fake. Okay? All right. Ivory says, it's not easy to not look at the 3D, and that's not what I'm telling you to do. I don't believe in that, you guys. It's not about not looking at the 3D. How are you not going to look at the 3D when you're in it? It's about what are you saying, though? What are you deciding? Okay? When somebody comes on here and says, Olivia, I'm down on my luck. Something terrible just happened. I'm seeing it. It's not like I'm not seeing it. I'm not like, oh my God, I didn't see that. I didn't read that. No, it's not that. But I just know that what I say has supremacy over that. And what would I like it to be? I'd rather them be telling me some good news. So I'm going to I'm going to hear them telling me some good news. I'm going to speak over them some good news. And then they're going to come back and tell me good news, right? But I could be like, but oh my God, they're so sad. They're so sad. Life dealt them a bad hand. Oh my God, let's cry together. Everybody get out your tissues and let's cry. Or I could be like, fuck that. Okay? Like, actually, that's my favorite. That's my favorite way to preface it. Actually, it's like this. Actually, it's like that. Actually, it's like this. Okay? Yes, it's the reaction and the decision that you make. The 3D is not a concern, y'all. It can't be a concern. When you realize that the 3D don't have nothing to do with nothing, okay? If I'm looking at a sunny sky and I want to manifest it to rain, I can't be concerned about the sun. I can't be concerned about the absence of clouds. You see what I'm saying? This is why I go right to the end. All I do in the midst of it being sunny while the sun is beating on my face, I'm not like, no, there's no sun. There's no sun beating on. No, I'm in my mind and I'm feeling myself in the rain and I'm smelling the rain and I'm hearing the rain and I'm knowing the rain. And me doing that is going to bring in the clouds and make it rain. All right. Last one is a little bonus tip for you guys. And really it shouldn't be bonus. It should be, you should do it. But meditate and or regulate your nervous system. Getting your mind in check, you guys. Like, this is the thing. Manifestation, a lot of it is simply disciplining your mind. It's disciplining your mind. But your mind, most of y'all is between like 20 and 50 years old. Your mind has been going for all of those years on whatever program that it's been going on. So you like being able to discipline your mind, being able to pick your thoughts. Okay, this is what manifestation is. Being able to pick your thoughts, to pick what you would rather happen, regardless of what's going on, is a skill. And meditating helps you to get your mind right. I was watching Man on Fire with my mom, and Denzel was like, he was, you know, with Dakota Fanning, and he was like helping her swim. And she was like, this is tough, right? It's really tough. And he's like, there's no tough, right? It's trained or untrained. Either you're trained or untrained. This is what it is, you guys. With your mind, with your manifestations, manifesting is all about what are you thinking? What are you focusing on? What are you embodying, right? It's where are you placing your attention? Either you're trained or untrained. It's no tough. Either you're trained or untrained. Either your mind has been running amok and you let it run amok, okay? Or your mind is disciplined and trained. I'm gonna be dead ass for real with y'all right now too. My mind, to be honest, y'all, I'm really intending for my mind to get more beautiful, because sometimes it's anxious. Sometimes I'm having intrusive thoughts. Sometimes it's negative, right? But the difference is I don't let that shit ride. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, oh golly gee willikers, oh my mind is just some bullshit and everything's some bullshit and I just, when will things get better? No. I see that and I'm like, actually, nah. Like, no, actually it's like this. Okay? Actually, it's like this. No, my mind is actually beautiful. I automatically think beautiful thoughts. I can't be anxious. I'm God incarnated. I can't have intrusive thoughts. My mind only produces the most beautiful, pure, clear, wonderful thoughts. That's it. Stop waiting for perfection and assume it and become it and be it. Act as it. Stop waiting for it. That's another one too. Stop waiting for it. Claim it. Go to your end and accept it. Go to your end. Accept your end. Accept. What I want is mine now. Why? Because I said so. Leave the 3D alone. There's nothing for me to do in 3D. I move in consciousness, and my consciousness produces a new 3D. I move in consciousness, and my consciousness produces a new reality, a new parallel reality. Accept your supremacy over 3D. Accept that you are creating all of it. Yes, you're creating all of it. Accept that. You know what? I influence this. I influence this. And start influencing. Start assuming your desires, like you've seen the $1 million get buried in your backyard and you know it's there. You're not going to stop digging. If you know that you can have what you want, if you know that you can have what you want, stop questioning it. Yeah, you can. You can have what you want. So assume it and keep doing it. Stop questioning the law and start questioning yourself. Stop questioning the law. Does this even work? I don't really get it. I don't really know. And oh my God. Okay, start questioning yourself. Am I really assuming? Have I really assumed it? Or am I trying? Have I really assumed that it's mine? Do I know what an assumption is? Meditate and regulate your nervous system. Meditating is training for your mind. Manifesting is training for your mind. Are you trained or untrained? Okay, it's no tough. Are you trained or untrained? Does your mind run amok or is it disciplined? Do your kids tell you what to do or do you tell your kids what to do? All right. Let's read something out of Neville. Okay. All right, I'm going to read your questions as well, but let's read just a little bit of Neville really quick, okay? Man desires freedom from his limitation or problem. The first thing he does after he defines his objective, is to condition it upon something else. He begins to speculate on the manner of acquiring it, not knowing the thing desired has a way of expression all its own. He started planning how he is going to get it, thereby adding to the word of God. If, on the other hand, he has no plan or conception as to the fulfillment of his desire, then he compromises his desire by modifying it. He feels that if he will be satisfied with less than his basic desire, then he might have a better chance of realizing it. In doing so, he takes from the word of God. Individuals and nations alike are constantly violating this law of their basic desire by plotting and planning the realization of their ambitions. They thereby add to the word of prophecy, or they compromise with their ideals, thus taking from the word of God. The inevitable result is death and plagues, or failure and frustration as promised for such violations. All right. Neville's just saying there, stop worrying about the how. All right. Stop worrying about the how. Stop observing. Like, this is what I be saying. This is how I see it. There's two islands, right? There's island A, that's the island that you're on, and there's island B, where you want to be. Okay? And there's like water in between. And some of us look and we say, there's water in between, and there's sharks in there, and I can't swim, so there's just no way for me to get to island B, and you just stay on island A. Right? Some of you guys are like, oh my God, I'd love to be on island B. Island B is so beautiful. Look at all the fruits and trees and so pretty over there. I'd love to be over there, but I can't. Well, I don't know how to get over there. Well, I can't swim, so what am I going to do? There's obviously no way. Swimming is the only way. I don't have a boat, so there's no way. But there's planes and helicopters and all kind of other shit, submarines and all kind of shit that can get you over there. But you're not going to get the chance to experience that if you've already accepted, based off what you see, based off what you're aware of around you, that it's not true, that you can't get over there, that there's no possibility. And then there's the person, there's another person who thinks about it, right? What could I do? Maybe I could build a boat. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I'll make a signal, and maybe something will see me and take me over there. That's you in Trianglesville. Okay? But what you're asked to do is to mentally, while you're on island A, decide, feel, affirm, persist in the fact, assume that you're on island B. And you doing that all alone, not building the boat, not getting in the shark-infested water, not doing anything, will make, I don't know, a cruise ship that was supposed to go this way, go that way, and drive by and say, oh my God, you over there on that island, do you need help? You look stranded. Let us take you over there, in a way that you couldn't have known, in a way that would have happened anyway, right? All right. Okay. How to know what purpose or career path is best for me. I've noticed a desire to devote myself to something new. Go off what feels the best to you. Go off what is your heart calling you to, because what I feel, and what most of the time is true, is that you already know, you don't feel brave enough to accept it. Go off whatever is calling to you. Okay? People call me Delulu, but I don't care. I always get what I want. Period, Shirley. And that's that. Y'all, listen. Something I didn't put was stop talking to muggles about your desires. Stop talking to muggles. Really stop talking to anybody, to be honest. Because, and do what you want. But people have their opinions. They're going to say what they're going to say. Oh, you're delusional. Oh, that could happen. Even spiritual people, okay? Spiritual people will come and tell you, no, that can't happen. Oh, no, that's not. Okay, it doesn't matter, right? Learn to validate yourself. You see how Shirley is saying she's the Lulu. She doesn't care, and she always gets what she wants because she's the one that gets to give it to herself, okay? My mind has been best ever since I found you. I love that, Lisa. That's amazing. Okay. Persist even when it seems like things are falling apart. It can only go your way. I love that. Y'all, that right there is such a gem, because that is when we give up. We're like, oh, I'm persisting, but things are falling apart. I'm persisting, but it's not looking right. I'm persisting. And to be honest, y'all, to me, that's the sign that it's working. Because sometimes there is a deconstructing for a reconstructing. Okay? Sometimes there's a deconstructing for a reconstructing. But either way, just assume, keep assuming, you guys. Like, here's the thing about it. You could be persisting. Like, understand that reality is splitting every moment with every decision that you make. So you could be persisting and shit is looking rocky, right? And then one way you go here, this is the way where you say, you know what, this is looking too crazy. I'm not about to do this. You go that way and okay, you chose that path. And so you go the path of, it's not gonna work for me. But the other way is also available. That's like, you know what, even though it's looking crazy and whatever, what do I have to lose, you guys? What do you have to lose? Whatever you're coming from, you don't want it anyway. So what do you have to lose to keep persisting? Your mind is going to say, oh, but what if you're wrong? And what if it doesn't happen? And what if this and what if that? But what if it does though? And you can choose this way where, yeah, it's looking rocky, that exists as well. And you continue to persist and you get what you want. Okay. All right. I'm going to go, you guys, because this is quite long. I use your SATS method and it works every time. I would like to get out of survival mode, but I'm afraid if I ask for more money, it will take longer to receive. And then there you see where your limiting belief is, right? So instead of like, wow, this is hindering me. Oh no, this is just a truth, or actually it's not a truth, an illusion that I've been accepting as true. And I don't have to accept that anymore because everything is happening instantly. I recently got a job offer, but I'm not satisfied with the pay, shift, hours, and off days. I also have to be on camera my entire shift. I'm practicing revising and not agreeing with the 3D. Well, it sounds like it's nothing that you want. So I say, fuck that job. What you could do is revise it. I would say revise them giving you every single thing that you want. But damn, all of that sounds terrible to me. So if you don't want it, don't settle. You're here at the crossroad. You're here at the crossroad where it's like, okay, I can accept what I don't want because it's here. Here's the crumb that 3D is trying to get me. Here's what 3D is saying. Hey, look at the control that you have. You applied for this job and we're going to give it to you. It's not anything that you want, but you know, here you go. And you can say, yeah, all right, sure, I'll take it. Or you can say, fuck that. Hell nah. That sounds terrible. It ain't even like one thing's wrong, like all of it's wrong. No. Go back. What did you decide though? What did you say? What did you say, Lanisha? When you decided you were going to get a new job, what was your requirement? Then that's the only thing that you can give attention to. What would I do if the electricity was cut off? How to look and overcome these circumstances? See them back on. Of course. Go to your end. They're actually back on. They're connected. See yourself doing what you would be doing once your electricity cut on. Okay? Hi, Saucy. Okay. All right. I love you guys so much. I'm intending this prospers you all immensely. I would love to have you guys in the Godstate group coaching that we're doing in August. The link is in the description. There are payment plans for it as well. You guys can also still work one-on-one with me, and you guys can also join the Godstate Remembrance, which is the monthly membership where we're doing daily Bible studies, metaphysically broken down and interpreted, and daily scripting prompts, and just overall support and encouragement. So yeah, I'd love to have you guys in any of those things. But other than that, I'm going to answer Hennessy's question. For a life overhaul, new job with better pay, a new safe home, and a support system. Your highest timeline, which I think it might be time for another challenge, you guys. Might be time for another YouTube challenge. I had the idea. I was watching one of my old TikToks about revision. I was like, what if we revise that we've always been on our highest timeline? So that might be a challenge coming up. But other than that, oh, that's what I'm telling you to do, Hennessy, though. The highest timeline, okay? You're on your highest timeline. You've always been on your highest timeline. What is the highest one? What is the highest reality that you could have? If you're in your highest version of reality, then you have all of those things. Okay? And not to say I'm going to build my highest timeline, okay? Oh, okay. I'll build my highest timeline by manifesting this and fixing that and all in 3D, and I'll get all these things in 3D to look like my highest timeline. No. You mentally decide I'm in my highest timeline. Just like Abdullah told Neville, you're in Barbados. What are you talking about going? You already went. You loved it. It was amazing. Yeah, you're already in your highest timeline. Welcome. You love it here. It's great. Okay? Okay. I'm sending you guys infinite love. I'm intending this prospers you immensely, and I'm absolutely sure that it has. And I will see you guys in a video soon.